beneficial. And also work on just our mobilization, just get a nice little routine, sort of like warm-up mobilization drills going that we're using. So press go on there, and then I'm just going to go into, where's Instagram disappeared to? There it is. Right, let's get going. So find the space, making sure you've got space forwards and back, side to side, that you're not going to kick anything. And that sun's coming out, so the light, I'm just going to pop the light on. Hopefully I don't need to close the blinds as yet. Feet shoulder width apart. Let's just start off with a little bit of knocking. It's really easy, little effort, connected to the ground. Gentle breath in and out through the nose. Softening through the hips, knees, ankles. Relaxing the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. Gradually slowing down into water waves. Spiraling the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, shoulders. And slowing down. Palms facing the ground for a moment, just having that little bit of space in the armpits. And spinal cord breathing, breathing in, breathing out. Find your own rhythm, your own pace. Think how an animal stretches, we're not forcing a stretch, not straining. And take a rest. Let's go palms towards the ground again. Let the breath settle, and then dog wags the tail. Come forwards a bit so you can see. And slowing down into shoulders. Back up, back and down. Breathing, using the spine as well. And reversing direction. Give your arms a bit of a shake out. Let's do stretching the arms, so palms together, down and round, really stretching the ligaments, the tendons, the wrists, the fingers, spiraling the bottom. Spiral. This one has really helped particularly my right wrist if you're working on a mouse and a laptop. And actually I've been holding the phone with a little finger sometimes and you forget, and it's just quite good. It just really releases any sort of tightness, tension, blockage. Let's go reverse direction. Everybody looks very balletic. It looks good. Elaine would be proud of us. And shake out. Let's add those in that we did on Monday. If you joined the class on Monday, just some more I was playing with at the weekend. So just almost, so you've got like a little hinge forwards and just freeing that arm up. Imagine you have a little ball in your hand and you're just rolling it around, ready to throw. And then the other hand or arm, it's really coming from the shoulder and then together. All the planes come and land. And then shake out. It's just a bit like an exaggerated shake out. The other one I like is very similar to this one, but just looser. So it's like, I'm just going to wash my face. And what you can do with this one is you can get a little bit of rotation in the upper back as well as you're doing this. Really freeing up the shoulder. And then you can go the other way. It's just nice to mix up the tempo. A lot of the stuff when we're doing flow, we're doing slow, and we're just mixing up the tempos. We're doing mobilization, shaking out. And just take a rest, let the breath settle. Then we'll go into hips. So when you're ready, take your feet slightly wider than hip width apart. If we can, keep the feet parallel, and then just circle the hips. And you can pop your hands on your hips if you want. Like I've said a couple of times, I actually quite just like keeping that upper body free, because I know you notice if you start holding tension in any areas, we don't need to hold tension in those shoulders, arms. Big circles. Changing direction. It's nice and easy. And then take a rest, bring in your feet fist width. Just stand tall for a moment. Let the breath settle. And then balance on one side. If I mirror you, balance on the right. And then just bring the left foot forwards, and we're just going to point the toe, flex, point the toes and flex. Just working the ankle, also working a little bit of balance. Breathing. If you wobble, that's absolutely fine. Just find your balance again. And then we'll do some nice ankle circles. Spreading the toes. Do the fingers with it. It's quite nice to do the fingers with it. And change direction. And then shake out. Stand. Balance for a moment. And then same thing. Hopefully you can see me. The sun's come out again, and I've just gone into a complete silhouette. You know what you're doing. You're balancing on the other side. You're pointing and flexing the toes. And then we're going to circle, spreading the toes. Other direction. And then have a shake out. Let's do the legs swing across the body. So balance and swing across and down. Let me come a little bit closer so you can see. Swing across and down. So you're just opening up the hip. So we're internally rotating, externally rotating, lowering. Breathing easy. And shaking out. Spine roll. So you go about feet width apart. We're keeping the legs pretty straight. We're hinging it. Oh no, actually go wider, sorry. Go wider than hip width, most probably wider than shoulder width. You're hinging at the hips. We're keeping the chest lifted. We're keeping the chin lifted. You'll feel that nice length through that whole back line. And then we're going to roll down. You can soften the knees a little bit and then roll the spine up. So spine wave. Hinge from the hips. Tom's camera's not following him. Debbie's is. Should feel nice, lengthening out all the fascia along the back of the body, the feet. Let's do a couple more. And then take a rest. Let the breath settle and we'll have a good shake. So you can do washing machine, you can do tapping both heels into the floor, just letting the shoulders go, shaking the arms out, cleansing and clearing breaths if you want. Breath in. Good old shake. Breath in. Shake, 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 shake. If you want to do a little bit of a fascia bounce on the ball of the foot, a little bit of pogoing. Get the heart rate up a little bit. And slow it down, 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 slow it down. Open up the shoulders. Breath settling. Let's do a breath in. And breath out. Let's do 6 directions. So next one, breath in, rotate, over, and then go into tiger. So tiger claws. Sorry, I've gone completely into silhouette here. And lower. Nice and steady. Breathing easy in and out through the nose. Just keep going because I'm just going to put that blind down because you cannot see what I'm doing. If you run out of breath or if your breath changes dramatically, just take a rest. Let's do 2 more. That should be better. Yeah. And take a rest. Shake out. Still very dark actually when the light changes. Next one. We're just going to slightly challenge our feet position. So please do not do anything that hurts or strains, but I want you, as we go into that little bit of a squat, it's going to sound really wrong for what I'm telling you to do. I just want you to bring your knees in a little bit, just go onto the edge of the feet a little bit. So we're just challenging this position. So normally you would say, knees go over toes, which is what we're doing perfectly. But occasionally we might not be able to do that perfectly. So we're just going to go knees in a little bit and then flat onto the ball of the foot. Don't go too deep and just do it really slowly. So we're just getting that little bit more internal rotation at the hip, internal rotation at the knee. If you get any pain, if anything hurts, do stop. But it's always nice just to challenge things slightly. Doesn't have to be as deep. If you need to go a little bit wider, go a little bit wider. And you be guided by the breath. Do a couple more. And take a rest. The reason why I've been playing around with that subtle angle change there, the hip and the knee, is because every time when we land, whether we're walking or running, we absorb the force, and there's that very subtle, I'm not saying we do this as we run and we collapse, but there's that subtle internal rotation. Foot on the arch lowers a little bit, that knee rotates in a little bit, that hip rotates in a little bit. So I'm really exaggerating the movement, but we've got to get that absorption before we get that spring. So that's what loads the spring. So same thing on the other side. Foot lands, knee rotates in, hip rotates in, absorption before you step forwards. And if we're stuck there, you don't get that absorption and spring. So that's why I was playing around with that. I just thought it's quite nice just to do that little bit of a slightly different squat position. Also, one we haven't done for a while is the curtsy squat. So if you remember the curtsy squat, so if we balance, so if we go on the right, balance on the right, use your arms just to counterbalance. You're balancing on the right, you're just going to do a curtsy. So you bring your left leg behind and curtsy. And then come back up. And what we can do actually, when you come out of the curtsy, just go out to the side and drop down, drop that hip back, and then come back, curtsy, in control all the way through the movement. Just use your arms however you feel balanced. And this is another one where you'll feel that internal rotation, hip, knee. It's like wringing the leg out. It's quite nice. Let's do one more this side. And then take a rest. Shake out. Let the breath settle for a moment. And then we go the other way. So balance, curtsy, get that rotation. Maybe it feels a little bit tighter. It feels a little bit tighter on my glute there. Do one more this side. And then shake out. Let the breath settle. You might want to give your ankles a little bit of a shake. Let the breath settle. And then we'll go back to normal tiger. Normal tiger, but this time low and then drop to the floor. We can bring the knees forward if you're comfortable with that, or just drop to the floor. Or if you just want to stay in the normal tiger, that's absolutely fine. But remember, you're in control all the way through the movement. There shouldn't be a point where you can't stop and return to the previous point. We don't want struggling through a movement. Breathing easy. Let's do 2 more. And then slowly come up to standing, pulling down, interlocking, thumbs resting on the lower belly, bringing the feet together, closing your eyes through a few moments of bamboo in the wind, letting the breath settle, body balance. Challenging our movement, challenging our range of motion, but in a safe way, in a controlled way, not forcing, not trying, not straining. That's the whole point. And then opening your eyes, have a little bit of a brush down. So on Saturday, if you are a core member, we've got our little floor flow session. It just gives us a little bit longer, and we'll just do some work on the mats. It's going to be the same type of thing. It's going to be that combination of playing around with strength and mobility and control as well. So hopefully I will see you on Saturday at 10 o'clock. If not, I'll see you next week. Thanks as always for your support, for joining the session, and have a good rest of your day. Bye, take care. Bye-bye. Bye.